Hello and welcome to Shades and Justice podcast. Hey, I'm your host, Dr. Evelyn Hill, and we are so excited to have with us tonight my namesake, Evelyn McKinney. And before we give Miss McKinney the mic, let me just remind you, you can always catch me at www.drevelynhill.net. So, I'm excited to have Evelyn with me on this evening. So, first of all, what you all must know about Evelyn is she is a hidden jewel in our community. The work that she does for our community, the ladies in our community, is beyond measure. And I just call her a hidden jewel. And so tonight, this jewel is going to be brought out into the sunlight so she can just beam brightly. So, Miss Evelyn McKinney, welcome.
Thank you, Miss Evelyn, for having me.
I'm so excited to have you. Hey, do you mind starting off by just telling us a little bit of your journey? Um, just basic information like if you like to share a little bit about where you grew up and anything like that. We'd love to hear some background information about you before we dig in deep.
Okay. I am Evelyn McKinney. I am the CEO, founder of Sue Safe Haven. I
Yeah.
have two beautiful girls, who one is 10 years old, the other one's 11. I
Uh-huh.
was born and raised here in Wyandotte County.
Oh.
And my story started here in Wyandotte County. Like any original story, my story comes from my mom. Uh,
Yes.
we was once homeless in Wyandotte County.
Uh-huh.
And my mom overcame the homelessness after we lived under a bridge for 30 days, with
Under a bridge.
under her bridge, three of her children, and she was pregnant. And
Oh.
yep, so after she came from under the bridge with us,
Mm-hmm.
she, instead of her being a person of complaints and want to point a finger at someone, she became something like a shelter. She started helping other women and children who
Oh.
was in that same situation. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
when we was homeless, there wasn't a lot of shelters out here for women. It was mostly battered shelters. She wasn't battered. We was just down on our luck.
Mm-hmm.
So her story was my inspiration for all of this, and this is what gave me the heart of helping others because I
Uh-huh.
watched her do it and helped her for several years of my childhood.
Wow. So where were you as in your siblings? Were you the oldest or the baby girl or
I was the second child. I was
okay.
the second child.
Mm-hmm. And did you graduate from one of the high schools here in Wyandotte County?
I graduated from Wyandotte High
Oh,
School, and then
once
again,
a bulldog, once a bulldog, always.
I don't even know how to do it.
That's awesome. Well, good. Well, you don't often hear women willing to share those hard stories,
Hmm.
like what you just shared about your mom with three children and pregnant, living under a bridge for 30 days. Did in your memory, did it rain any of those days? Was it snowing on the ground, or was it summertime?
Oh, that was the best part. It was summertime, so
Okay.
it's funny, I don't know where we came from. Moms didn't tell us the devastating parts of life. Like I didn't even know we was homeless until I was grown. So it was like us going to the lake and playing, that James Street event.
Oh.
So we go down there and we really washing up. We probably thought we was swimming. And at night she'd take us to a little abandoned house to sleep, and in the morning we'd start all over again. So
Wow.
as children, we didn't know that's what it was.
Uh-huh.
I was one of those nosy kids, and I said, Mom, I remember this. What was that?
Uh-huh.
And she let me know what it was. So
Wow. That is boy, I can appreciate her ingenuity in that
Mhm.
she never even let you all know. Y'all just out having fun.
Mhm.
Uh, man, that's pretty awesome. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that. And the reason I said you are a hidden jewel is everybody knows here in Wyandotte County, we don't really have any shelters for women and children, except, like you said earlier, the domestic violence shelter, which is very difficult also to get in.
Mhm.
But your shelter that you have is right here in Wyandotte County, and not too many people know about it. And so we're going to have to do a better job of both letting our community know that you're available and also funding you so that you get the funding you need to continue the wonderful services that you provide. I want to um, talk about safe haven in just a minute, but we had a discussion earlier about women that get kicked out of apartments when they live with young men and they have nowhere to go afterwards. And I remember asking you, well, what about a sister or a friend or uh, family member? What happens that, you know, individuals find themselves literally out on the street after staying with the gentleman, and then because for whatever reason she decides not to have intimate relations with this person, they then kick them out. So our conversation after that was so educational for me. I knew it sort of. I kind of had been in that vein with other ladies, but I think it'll be good for us to talk about the issues with self-esteem. And that's what you kind of really zeroed in on. And I want our audience to know that we as women, we have to be very careful when we decide to move in with people. But anyway, I'm going to let you take it from there and just talk about the self-esteem issues that may accompany individuals when they find themselves homeless.
Okay. Well, when I started this shelter, I was looking forward to seeing women being homeless because uh, losing a job,
Yeah.
maybe an addiction, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe just feeling hard on their luck because of life circumstances of normal things.
Mm-hmm.
But not maybe 85% of the women that's been in my house
Mm-hmm.
has been kicked out by a man,
Mm.
maybe their own place or um, a place they share. And
Uh-huh.
so I have found out that we as women are we are lacking self-love. Uh,
Yes. Yes.
where self-love kind of take care of a lot of things. We make better decisions, or we will love ourselves enough to not even move in with a man without a commitment or some sort.
Mm-hmm.
But so these women, they come in there, they feel unworthy, they feel less than.
Mm-hmm.
Some don't even know who they are, and when they go through these issues with these men, they burn a lot of bridges. They
Yeah.
go against family to be with this man. Some leave their children to be with
Oh
this
my.
person.
Wow.
So
Okay.
they begin to hurt other people to stay in that position of, well, is abuse itself within itself. And so
Uh-huh.
when I found this out, we created some kind of curriculum, uh, self-love and mindfulness
Mm-hmm.
mindset. So we have a whole bunch of workbooks and workshops and courses on self-love and self,
Uh-huh.
because I believe there we can't um, end homelessness, but uh, I think we can help more if we help a person love themselves and have a changed mind than we could just feeding them, clothing them, and putting them under shelter.
Wow. That is so good. So the opportunity to learn how to love yourself. That's something how we think we do, But then, depending on the circumstances we end up in, we find out that, hey, maybe I didn't really love myself the way I thought I did, and I put myself in a position where my whole family opposes me now. Um, and now the individual that I thought I loved, I thought I was going to be with forever, now they have thrown me out, and I burned all my bridges with the family folks. So now what I do?
Mm-hmm.
So I go to a shelter, and at the shelter, I got to obey rules. There's requirements. Man, I tell you, it's something. But if I want our audience to know, even if you end up in a situation like this can be the beginning of a brand new life for yourself. You begin to learn to love yourself, take some kind of course on empowering yourself and self-love and
Self-love.
uh, yes, and uh, and don't be shy about it. I think in the past, we as women been told, be quiet, keep to yourself, and no, 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 no. We doing all that different these
Mm-hmm.
days.
Mm-hmm.
If you can shake your head and do all that, you can shake your head and do all that for yourself to be empowered to take care of you.
You,
So
yes,
I just want to thank you for
yes.
sharing that. And I just think it's our job to encourage other women, old and young,
Mm-hmm.
that you don't have to be in those types of situations where you are abused, violently mistreated, and you can get out and start over. And that is exactly what you do at Safe Haven. So tell us a little bit about Safe Haven, and uh, what are some of your requirements, and what do you look for in young ladies that need your services?
So my the main requirement is to want to change. Um,
Ah,
that was one of the biggest problems, but my goal is always just to help, in some kind of way, provide hope.
yeah,
The change is the biggest thing. Come in there with an open mind of accepting who you are and fixing who you are. You know,
hmm,
we one of the biggest rules is be positive. Don't come in there and say, I'm not,
uh-huh.
I can't, and I'm the lowest of the low. No, you're not. We don't do that here, So that that is the
It's
biggest
not
thing you get.
allowed. Did
Mm-hmm.
you say not on your watch?
Mm-mm. I go, we're gonna change that. So they
Uh-huh.
come in with we give them affirmation the first day in the
Yeah,
training, you know. The requirement, we don't have a criteria. You could be any type of woman.
yeah,
That was my biggest goal when we opened this house, is to accept any woman, because it was
yeah,
always you have to be pregnant or abused. So
yeah,
we
yeah.
accept puppies too. There's
Right.
some puppies
Yeah.
and children. So I think that's it, just wanting that
Mhm.
change. I had issues where people didn't want change, they just wanted to get what they needed at that point in
Yeah,
time. So
yeah.
we created a space for that too, where, well, they can come in here for 30 days and
Uh-huh.
leave in the morning, and they have their bed at night. So
Uh-huh.
we accept some people that don't want to change. We can't make
Okay.
everybody do what we want them to do.
Right,
But we
right.
still want
Exactly.
to help. So we have that 30-day mercy shelter for them, and there's no
Mhm.
criteria really on that either. Is so everyone has to have a mental health evaluation before they
Mhm.
come in, and that is to say that they are stable enough to do the work there and sufficient enough to stay in the house without security. My
Mhm.
purpose was to make that house a home, a temporary home for those who do not have a home.
Uh-huh.
So that I didn't want a building. I got a house, and it's
Yes, ma'am.
comfortable and it's peaceful, and I want to keep it that way.
Oh.
So that was the point, to make it a home. Some
Mhm.
children there don't even know they're homeless. They come in there and come home from school, sit at their table like it's their home, and that was my
Wow.
yeah.
That's awesome. So, talk to us a little bit about the ladies who, when you find out they don't want to change, what's going on with some of your past clients when that has been the case?
To be honest, it has been ladies who are between the ages of 21
Mm-hmm.
and 29, I say.
Wow.
And they usually have two or more children.
Uh-huh.
So they come into the house, they are entitled. They feel
Oh
entitled,
no, not entitled.
Yeah, and it's heartbreaking, but they are the ones who they know everything already.
Uh-huh.
Um, change, they
Even
don't
though
need.
even though they homeless.
Yeah, they're not
Oh,
homeless in their mind. They're better than everybody in the house. So
oh,
yeah,
okay.
it goes there. They just feel entitled and they're not used to being told what to do. So
Mhm.
it's always a conflict there of the rules and everything else. So these ladies are the ones who brought in that creation of that 30-day program because I
Uh-huh.
didn't want to put those young ladies on the street and kids.
Mhm.
Instead of that, I will give them a 30-day program. They still have to take the classes at night. So
Oh,
and the
okay.
classes are self-work classes, they're self-respect classes. So maybe they'll hear something, maybe something will encourage them. And
Uh-huh.
I had to hire two ladies that are how can I say, soft spoken. I am a straightforward person, and these ladies
Uh-huh.
have a lot of marshmallow and rainbows around them, and they can
Marshmallows and rainbows. Okay.
yeah, and they kind of can serve them women who believe in that and believe that they're not homeless and they're entitled to what life gives them. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's a hard thing to see that, and I'm not good with not telling the truth. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
when my team come in and they're
Yeah.
sweet.
Well, I thought you were going to say that the hardest cases were the ladies on drugs or alcohol. That's
No,
what I thought
those are my favorite
you.
because of my
Wow.
background. I was born and raised around Quindaro, 11th and Quindaro,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of things that I was taught was from those people. Those people are, in my mind, are honest, and
Yeah.
they like me. That's probably where I got it from, straightforward, and they don't tell you how to do things or what to do. They teach you, you know, and
Ah.
they're teachable, and
Mhm.
so they have a habit and addiction, but they won't change. And if they
Right.
and those are the people come in the house and say, I can't do that right now, so I'm gonna come back. And my greatest
Really?
success stories are those that came back.
Okay.
I love
Wow.
truth, and that's what they
Okay.
give you. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Now, who would have thought that? I think we as a society, we categorize and judge people
Hmm.
inaccurately. And just hearing that piece right there that you shared about those who have a habit, at least they willing to be truthful with you.
They're very honest.
And they really want to change, and they know if they don't want to change right now, they'll be back. And you said some of them actually came back.
Yes, I have four ladies who are, oh my God, I will never forget their story. They walked in, the ones who walked in on their own and said, I need help,
Uh-huh.
was an agency to Bronco. And one lady I remember, she came in. It was so funny. She got a job and she was there for maybe 2 days. She called me and said, bring my things to 7th Street. I can't do this right now. And maybe a month or so later, she called back. She said, all right, Evelyn, I'm ready.
Wow.
And I said, well, come on in. And when I tell you, that lady left with well, because we do budgeting as well. She left
Uh-huh.
with maybe almost $5,000 in her bank account. She
Whoa, wait, hold up. Back that train up. So she worked and she was able to save her money.
she got the
And
job she wanted.
she did what?
She started the career she wanted, which was working. She wanted to drive a bus. She did that.
Okay, okay.
She got a car while she was there.
Wow.
So we set
And
goals.
so
Mhm.
all of her money wasn't even taken up by buying the car.
Mm-mm.
She still had a savings even after buying a car.
She was
Wow.
she was determined. That's when I realized that if you want it and you want the change, you can do it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
she came in there and she went full speed ahead.
Oh
And
my
I
goodness.
watched her, and she was a person that was on the street for more than 25, 30 years.
Whoa.
Yeah, and she had an addiction
Hmm.
and came back and started teaching AA at the house.
What? Became a teacher. Wow. Now that is truly a success story. That's true. So that one lady probably really inspired you to be tolerant with some of the other ladies who were pain in the you know what's.
Yeah, yeah. So I can't put all of them. I have one more I got to tell about. She was
Okay.
determined. She was pregnant with two twins, and she
Oh
had
my.
twins that was 1 years old. And
Oh.
I used to watch her and I say, how does she do that? I was one of them moms that not even use the car seat. It was too much to do. She would carry the babies, pregnant, and the car seats. Okay. And
Oh
she
my
she
gosh.
was determined to
Yeah.
get where she needs to be with those babies. And I watch her, she did a whole transformation within 3 to 4 weeks and got what she needed. And it was focus. It was knowing who she was and what
Mm-hmm.
she needed for herself. So those two are my inspiration. Those two ladies right there.
Uh-huh.
And and she was between that age I was talking about, but she was the only one I had.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow. So when they're in your program, do they owe you money? Do they pay for utilities or they have to pay $20 a day? What is the payment structure for the client?
Okay, so the transitional living, each women are paying a portion of rent or the bills altogether. So it's up to 8 women who share this portion. So it's $200
Uh-huh.
for
Okay.
each one of them. And
Okay.
when they get a job after 30 days, they will start paying that monthly fee. And
And
the emergency shelter, they do not have a fee because they are
okay.
there for a little amount of time. So the program is up to 12 months.
Okay.
So they get
Okay.
12 months of housing and educational services until they get
Uh-huh.
on their feet.
Okay. So the first 30 days is free.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, if they have a job, they pay 200 a month.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens if they don't have a job? They still get to stay there?
Yeah, they still get to stay there. They're homeless, it's that's
Yeah.
not the point. You know, uh
Okay.
it's a practice environment. So
Yeah.
they are in this home and we try to teach them, to pay their bills first, uh,
Yeah.
to budget and get what's your necessities before we go play and spend money. And they do chores.
Yeah. Oh, good.
They do
Okay.
chores, so instead of having the life skills of how to, most life skills are how to take care of yourself, taking a bath, brushing your teeth, and
Right.
things of
Right.
that sort. Ours is how to live and keep a shelter over your head. And that
Yeah.
means pay your rent,
Yeah. Mhm.
buy your children clothing,
Yeah.
go to work every
So
day.
you
Yeah,
you help them understand that lashes and nails are
exactly.
not the primary goal. It's keeping that shelter over your head and taking care of you and the kids with food
I
and
like you,
clothes.
Dr. Evelyn. I didn't want to say this, but yeah, I teach them that Jordans are not the best thing.
Woo! My
So,
kids hated me because I refused to buy. I'm going, he got more money than I do. I ain't giving him none of my money. No.
yeah,
So
so
I just couldn't do it. And so
that's
their
me.
dad did it, but I just couldn't. I bought Pizza Hut tennis shoes. They talk about that today. I
Mhm.
know nobody ever heard of Pizza Hut tennis shoes. That's why my
Pizza
kids said,
Hut.
Mom, yeah. And I had Royals tennis shoes. I had whatever was cheap. That's what I bought.
Yeah.
And so no, I didn't go over big as mom back in those days. But I kept, we kept a roof over our heads and
Mhm.
food and stuff.
Yeah.
So I just, they needed new stuff. I get it, but it wasn't in style necessarily. But they were never homeless. We
Yeah. And that's
that
what I
one.
tell them. I go, so I get those ladies coming there with the nice lashes and the nails done. And when they get paid, they first check, they go buy Jordans, and I tell
Yeah.
them, wow. you have nowhere to put those Jordans because,
Wow.
you have to explain it that way because they don't understand. But we were taught that way where I'm from. That's all we see. So that was my biggest thing is trying to change that. That was something I
Yeah.
noticed my whole life that
Yeah.
we was okay in our skin if we wore Jordans and had nice eyelashes and nails. And
Wow.
and that's what I try to uh stop while they're in that shelter, and I basically
Yeah.
explain the reality of things.
Right. Now, do you have budgeting classes? Are they mandatory to be a part of budgeting?
Yes, it's mandatory to save 20% of their income, and
Okay.
it's mandatory budget class every week.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So
Awesome.
basically, they have to live off that budget they make, and the standards are necessities. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. Wow. So, what do you suggest for women to protect themselves from our neighborhoods? Our neighborhoods are so full of negativity. Uh, like you mentioned earlier, uh, uh, different substances they can be involved with being uh, imposed upon with friends that are very negative and doing some of the things that they shouldn't be done. So how should uh, these young ladies, how do they discern or figure out, hey, I don't need this individual for a friend because they taking me down the wrong road. What do you tell those young ladies?
I just told you about the young ladies. I don't tell them nothing. No, just like, but so no, I tell them to I tell this is my words I say a lot in the house. Move
Yeah,
off of benefit. So if it's not
yeah,
beneficial, don't entertain it, is what I tell them.
right,
So
right.
if that friend is not helping you uh work, if that friend is not providing the shelter, it should be your friend. If they offer you drugs and alcohol, that is
Uh-huh.
not your friend.
Hmm.
My mom taught us that longer time ago. You know,
Yeah.
never take those things from a friend because that is not a friend. I kind of,
Wow.
I tell a lot of them, yeah, you are here. Why are you
Hmm.
here? The same thing about the burning bridges. And some of them say we have a friend, and I ask them, well, why are you here? And then I explained to them if I was homeless right now, I have a few people who will put me and my children up, and that's who
Hmm.
I would call a friend.
Right.
Or someone who empowers you, encourages you to do better. That is a friend.
Uh-huh.
So the first part of the program, that is what we doing, explaining to them in different environments that they should be in, finding a
Hmm.
hobby, a different hobby, finding a support group with different people who to
Hmm.
be around that will encourage you to do
Hmm.
better. So if it's nothing positive in it, it's just not a friend, you know.
Right. Now, you've had some older women in your facility also, right? Tell us a little bit about those circumstances.
My favorite. They are so much trouble and cute. They are. I have it's usually for some reason I don't know, God loves me. He gives me a young one, or the ones I'm talking about, the 19 through 28. And then I get
Uh-huh.
middle, which is
Uh-huh.
28 to maybe 55. Then I got
Uh-huh.
55 and older. And it's funny, so I
Wow.
always tell them, this is God's grace for y'all. You can look at each
Uh-huh.
stair step and see what not to do, or what to do. So I tell them,
Yeah.
pay attention. You know,
Yeah.
so the older ones, they are usually stuck in their ways.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And they're I just think they're cute, and I don't know, they're my favorite. And they always give you a hard time.
Oh.
I'm not going there. And they love me because I'm straightforward, and they just be like, "Oh, Miss Evelyn," they crack up. But but they only gonna listen to that, right? They
Uh-huh.
won't read a book. They're not doing them courses. We've
Oh,
been there, done that.
really?
Yeah, we've been there, done that. So what I do is put them in a position to teach the other ones, and
Okay.
that usually
Okay.
works.
Ah,
Yeah, and
and
they
now do they stay quite a while too? They stay longer than 30 days?
oh yeah, so they're usually in transitional because of waiting for housing.
Oh yeah.
Housing waiting list is so long. So they usually are there the longest. I think the last
Okay.
one was there almost they hit the 12-month mark. So usually people out of transition within 3 to 4 months. But
Uh-huh.
senior citizen usually there at the 12, almost hit the
So
12-month mark.
wow. So when they leave your facility, are they trying to get into a senior citizen building? Uh, and then and so we have a deficit of senior facilities in
Mhm.
Wyandotte County, I know. And
Yeah,
do you also work with folks from the Missouri side too?
I do. So, well, a lot of people don't want to move to Missouri, but it's a lot more resources for me anyway over there.
Uh-huh.
And
Okay.
so I have moved some people to Missouri because I can easily find housing for them. And
Wow.
yeah, especially like in the outer parts of Grandview area, it's a lot of senior citizen places that they
Okay.
accept people in a wait list. Yeah,
Wow. Do you have much luck with the housing authority on the Kansas or Missouri side?
I do not.
Yeah. And I know they usually disperse vouchers, but nobody accepts vouchers anymore. It's like a lot of the landlords don't want to accept those clients.
Hmm. So with the housing, I deal with more of I have been dealing with myself, Lee Summit and Olathe. And it's
Oh,
because Olathe kind of what can I say? They have like a more of a homeless program, I would call it, where
okay.
yeah, they will pull the homeless up the list so they can get
Uh-huh.
housing faster. And
Oh, good.
yeah, at least
Yeah.
Summit usually doesn't have a wait. So it's
Uh-huh.
if the house guest is willing to move in those areas, I would guide them towards those areas because
Okay.
yeah, Wyandotte County they
Well,
would be there a year or more. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, Evelyn McKinney, what a fantastic interview this has been. And thank you, thank you, thank you for the services that you provide here in Wyandotte County. Would you share with our audience how can they get in touch with uh, you or your email address or your website so that anybody want to just look into what you're doing and make a donation or something, they have your information. So feel free to share your website and if you like your email address.
Okay. My website they can you can always looking for people who are needing help, and they can go to www.suesafehaven.org, and it is a referral link there where they can put in for housing. Also, the phone number and who you contact for um, to help get you the help that you need is on that website as well. And again, that's
Okay, and you said Sue Safe
Sue
House
Safe Haven. So that's
SUE.
www.suessafeven.org. And
Okay,
my
yeah,
email address for assistance for the same assistance is admin, ADMIN at suesafehaven.org. That's need to spell it again.
okay. No, you did good. You did, you own it.
Okay.
Good
Yep.
night. I'm
And our
telling you.
phone number is 913-400-2980. And that is for the main line. And you can also
Okay,
donate on the website.
okay, perfect. Well, Evelyn, thank you again so much for being on our podcast tonight. This was an amazing interview, and I'm just so excited. You are getting ready to launch some new things, and I can't wait till all that good stuff begins to happen. And to our radio audience and podcast audience, you can always catch me, Dr. Evelyn Hill, at drevelynhill.net. Shades and Justice Podcast. Until next time. Let's remember justice.
And thank
Bye
you.
bye. Thank you.